Hello, everybody. We are actually trying to make education easy and affordable for everyone, so that you are able to just learn new things, learn new skills for free, and benefit from it. So that is the main agenda of creating this Tableau full course for you. And this today in Tableau, we are going to learn about histogram, as you can see. So now, just to give you a quick reminder, we have been learning about different types of graphs that we can create using Tableau, and these different types of graph, when you put them all together, if you want to show any create a report, you can put them all together and create a report by like a story or something. Or if you want to create a dashboard, you can create a dashboard using a lot of graphs and charts together. So histogram is one of the charts that we are supposed to learn in Tableau. I'm sure all of you have an idea about all of these types of charts, but definitely we need to understand where do we have to use these charts and where should we not use. Whenever we have a data set, if we have to create a report, we should just by looking at the set data set be able to understand what is the graph that we are supposed to use here. That is the main agenda of explaining you what are these charts. We definitely know what are these different types of charts. From a long time back we have been learning about it, and so that is why we know quite a lot about them. But these sessions are going to be different. We are going to learn where are we actually using them in real time cases, right? The agenda again, we are going to learn about histogram. What is histogram and how do you create a histogram using Tableau is what we are going to learn today. My name is Abidinisa Begum. I'm sure most of you know it, but for those of you who have been joining for the first time, I am a technical trainer. I have been providing trainings on R and Python for the past 4 years now, and R and Python specifically for data science and machine learning. And then for data visualizations, I have been providing trainings on Tableau, using Tableau. Yes, there are a lot of several other BI tools as well, like Power BI and ClickView and all. But then the most evolving and most the easiest one is Tableau. And you can actually create a lot of interactive dashboards using Tableau. So that is what fascinates me. And I thought I should learn Tableau, and trust me, it is really interesting if you just understand how to do that. Now, that's all about it. I guess we can just move ahead and come towards what are we going to learn today. So this is how a histogram looks like. So to define it, it is a chart that plots distribution of numeric variables values as a series of bars, as you can see here, right? So these are different bars. Now, each bar it typically covers a range of numeric values called a bin or a class. This is a bin, or this is a bin. So a bar's height indicates the frequency of data points with a value within the corresponding or within a particular bin. So the histogram here, you can see the histogram that's here. It shows a frequency distribution from time to response for ticket sends into fictional support system. Right? So each bar here it covers 1 hour of time. Okay, so and the height here it is indicating the number of tickets in each time range. So that is why I have mentioned frequency here. Now we can see the largest frequency of responses were in 2 to 3 hours of range, right? We have it in 2 to 3 hours of range. Now, with a longer tail to the right than to the left, there's also a smaller hill whose peak at 13 to 14 hours. If we only looked at the numeric statistics like mean and standard deviation, we might miss the fact that there were these two peaks that contributed to the overall statistics. That is why we use histogram. Now, when is it appropriate to use a histogram? Histograms are good for showing general distributional features of dataset variables, and we can see roughly where the peaks of the distributions are. Right? You can distinctly see, and whether the distribution is skewed or asymmetric. You know how does it go, right? This is skewed. If it goes like this, it is skewed. If it goes like this, it is skewed. But if it goes like this, then it is normally distributed. And also we can see if there are any outliers. I'm sorry. There could be a complete outlier based upon the, the different points available. Now, in order to use a histogram, we simply require a variable that takes continuous numeric values. This means that differences between values are consistent regardless of their absolute values. Okay, and even if the score on a test might take only integer values between 0 to 100, the same size gap has the same meaning regardless of where we are on the scale. The difference between 60 and 65 is the same 5 point size as the difference between 90 and 95. Now, information about the number of bins and their boundaries for tallying up the data points is not inherent to the data itself. Okay, so instead of setting up the bins is a separate decision that we have to make when constructing a histogram. The way that we specify these bins will have a major effect on how the histogram can be interpreted as, what we are going to learn now. Now, when a value is on a bin boundary, it will consistently be assigned to the bin on its right or left. Which side is chosen depends on the visualization tool. Some tools have the option to override the default preference, and that is also a way to do it. Now, there are some common misuses of histogram that can occur. So noted in the opening section, as we have noted already, it is meant to depict the frequency distribution of a continuous numeric variable. When our variable of interest does not fit this property, we need to use a different chart type instead, called as bar chart. When it's not about frequency, you can use bar chart instead of histogram. A variable that takes categorical values like user type or location or clearly non-numeric, and so should use a bar chart. However, there are certain variable types that can be trickier to classify. Those that take in discrete numeric values and also those that take time-based values. Right? So that's how you can just take it. Using unequal bin sizes is also a misuse. You cannot use unequal bin sizes. Now, you can use in histogram, you can have absolute frequency versus relative frequency. Then you can also, displaying unknown or missing data. That is a kind of histogram that you can use. Okay, so I hope that this histogram is being understood. You're able to understand where and how we are using it, where we should not be using histograms. Okay, so if there are any doubts, this is the time for you to just mention it in the comment section so then I can just explain that to you. Till then, you can just go to Tableau Public. If you have not opened it already, open it right now, or if you have not downloaded it, you can download it and try practicing later. I'll give you 30 seconds to open Tableau Public, and then we'll directly just, jump into creating a histogram using Tableau. So what you do is you'll just double click on Tableau Public and you will open this. Tableau Public is an open source. You can directly download from Google and start working on it. Now, what you can do is based upon the type of data set that you are using, you can just select the file type. So there are different file types here: Excel, text, JSON, PDF, statistical, all of these. And I'm going to use an Excel sheet. So that is why I'm going to click on Microsoft Excel. And here, what am I going to choose is Superstore data. Then again, from them, I'll be taking orders. From there, I'll start. Now, what do I do is I'll be taking some value. So you can just click on show me and you can see for histogram, you need only one measure. It's not necessary that you have a number of measures, a number of dimensions. You can just start creating a histogram using one single measure. So what you would do is you in the columns, you can take um, quantity ordered new, okay? And then in your rows, well, you don't really need it, do you? Let's just try to see how does this work. See, you're just able to create it using this. So you got a count here and you got this. You can just change the values as well if you don't want it to be count. You can just change it to attribute, but that does not make it a histogram, does it? So what you can do, you can again put it to count. So you have your histogram here. Or maybe if we do not want this, we might just try with the quantity ordered new based upon different regions. Yes, you can see it here. And this is what you called a left skewed histogram. And if the values were on right, it would be called right skewed. If it was in the middle, like a normal distribution, it would be called as symmetric, right? So yeah, I know that creating these histograms is really easy. Let's just try using some other measures also. So what do we have? Let's look at different sales that happen in. Okay, let's just click on the sales and let's just. Okay, this does not. This would not give me sales. Would not give me, but then sales should also depend on something, right? Okay, so I have removed this. Okay, we have our count quantity ordered new is what we have, and we have also taken these. Now, suppose if you want to divide it using a product category, or if you want to divide it using based on order priority. So here on your right, you can see the legend as well, how important it is, to order this quantity. So that is how, you can actually make a what do you say a required chart. So this is quite required because you have to order the quantity, and you can also see the how the priority order priority also. So is it important to order? How important it is? It's very critical to order the ones in blue. In orange it's highly required, low, medium, and then not really specific, or maybe not specified at all. That could be critical, but that's not specified at all. So those could be some of those areas when you see these not specified values. So it could be critical, but the person forgot to mention. Now that is something really alarming that we need to look at. That's when you go for data cleaning. So before doing this, you might as well want to just go and work on the data cleaning part as well. So the missing values don't make it a not specified part, right? So I think that is enough for now. You are able to understand. I hope you are able to understand that the interpretation of histogram was pretty easy. Creating a histogram was easier, and understanding the histogram is also easy. Now you know where you need to use a histogram. That is the most important part. Now using these histograms and the different types of charts that you have learned till here, you can also create several dashboards. Thank you very much for being with me throughout this session. I hope this session helps you. And if you have any doubts, any feedbacks, or mention it in the comment section, and I will definitely respond to you. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day and happy learning.